Hello, everyone, and welcome to PrusaLive. Glad to have you guys all back again. I am here with Nicholas Sousa and, of course, Joseph Prusa. And
Hi.
I'm Matt Stoltz. Uh, so we've got a great show for you guys, as always. Today, we will also be joined by veteran Wekster, who you guys probably know from all of his amazing models out there. But, it's October, it's Halloween time. We got to bring in a designer who makes all the fun spooky models and things like that. So yeah, but let's go ahead and kick it off with our Prusa Printers picks of the week. What do you got, Mickey?
I have something that's probably not very practical for everyone, but I guess it kind of shows that there are even very specific things by now on Prusa printers. And
Perfect.
it's a case for a soldering iron, and it has this really awesome hinge where you just insert a 1.75 filament, and that's
Ooh.
how it works.
Nice.
Yeah,
I have that soldering iron. I desperately need a case.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I hadn't even bothered to look for it. Yeah, I'm gonna print that right away.
the tips are always a little bit greasy from the flax or something, so
Yeah.
you need a case.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
guess you can take it out during the Halloween and you can, create the smell of burnt flesh.
Ouch! It's by
If it smells like chicken, you're holding the wrong end.
Yeah, I haven't been soldering in a while, but I remember when I accidentally touched it bad in the wrong way. It smelled like chicken. so-
yeah, it smells like steak. So it's done by Austin Saint Aubin, and I'm just gonna paste the link in the chat right now.
Fantastic.
Me, I have actual Halloween themed model, but it is made actually by us, and it is the Zombie Joe.
Ooh.
So you can get ready. Can you see the brain? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Brains.
Do we have one with a removable brain? Like that would be awesome if you could pop the brain
And,
out.
I actually, before you check your model, I might have it because this was actually featured on a magazine cover.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'll try to look for it.
We also had the Halloween video where we printed like 20 of these, and they're going for brains, and then they see Prusa Miss Pink, and they're like, nope, Prusa, and they just go for Prusa. Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
I found it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a
It's so
Czech
good.
magazine called Why No? Yeah, quite a few years ago.
Yeah. And that definitely comes in an MMU version, so you can get all that
Yes.
fun coloration without even having to have all the crazy painting skills that some of you have out there,
Yes.
but I do not have.
Link in the
Um,
chat. What do you have, Matt?
Fantastic. All right. So, again, Halloween, lots of fun, sci-fi and horror and costumes and everything else. And we've got Wekster on the show, right? So I've got one of his minis. It's the Hellboy mini.
Hellboy.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, I gotta say, I love Wekster's minis, and we'll talk more about that when he gets in. But I don't necessarily print a lot of pop culture model stuff and everything else, but I think the kind of caricature side of the minis is just so much fun, and I love Hellboy, and yeah, it came out great.
Nice.
What do you think about the newest Hellboy movie?
No, Ron Perlman all the way.
Oh
So,
yeah,
Yes.
I actually met Ron.
Oh, at the Prague Comic Con?
Yeah, at Prague Comic Con.
Nice.
Well,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, and he is just radiating that energy.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Hellboy, Sons of Anarchy, so many movies back. Even Blade. Blade was the Blade that he was in, wasn't it? Shot in Prague, or at least it was set in Prague. Maybe it wasn't shot
I
there.
think it was partially shot in Prague.
There's a lot of movies being shot in Prague. Well, not right now, but generally yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, fantastic. So let's move on. So we had a competition last month for a lighting competition, how to make a lamp using your 3D printer. We had a couple different categories in it, and we've talked about this a little bit, but man, you guys like really turned out with what you came out with. And earlier or end of last week, we announced the winners, but you know, you may have missed that post or something. So we just want to real quick let you know who won here.
It is awesome.
It is. Nikki, do you have any of those?
Yes, so they are featured on the homepage right now. And the winner of the category where you need to use a light bulb socket is Skagarov with this awesome orbital, like stringy G-code hack basically, where it's just pure bridging, but it looks so cool. I actually printed this lamp and I brought it home, and I'm considering it, like actually leaving it in the room forever. It looks really nice. Then we have Regiza, who posted like a ridiculous amount of high quality models into the competition, and they all have, they have.
Have you tried?
Yeah, his cute skull model was the winning model, but really Ray kind of won for like everything that he did, right? Like it was kind of which one to pick, but you know, there were so many good ones. It was so hard. And again, like the instructions that he does, and you know, all the extra little things that he puts in, just you know, is a step beyond.
And yeah, then we had the runner-up was Nils Kal with the desk standing lamp that I featured on the previous PrusaLive. Yeah,
on PrusaLive 10.
Yeah, so I love this one. I'm hacking it, and yeah.
Did you finish the motorization?
I think it will arrive. Who knows when? It will be like a month later. The servos will finish. I will be like, oh, why did I order like 100 servos? Like, oh, that's why.
You might have some spare ones in the lab from the reflections.
Maybe, yeah. Good idea. I will check. And then the second runner-up is Conrayer 8R. Who knows? But it's this awesome flower lamp which actually closes and expands. It's really beautiful. Especially, I guess, if you combine it with RGB bulb like Philips Hue or Xiaomi light or something like that.
Right.
It's very pretty.
I love how the pedals pick up the tones and really kind of make it feel even more organic because of the colors.
The first 5 with most likes, except for the winners, also won. So you kind of helped us pick the winners. So here they are. There is a blog post on prusaprinters.org where you can find all the links and read through all the winners that we picked. Really, it took us quite a long time to pick the winners because there were so many high quality submissions, and I kind of feel bad for some of the like really cool models that didn't win, but there can only be so many winners.
There can only be one.
Yes.
Yeah. They are really, really beautiful. All right. So, we also have a new feature that came out that we want to kind of go over and cover. And I know, Mickey, you were pretty involved in pushing this along. We were chatting through some issues there.
Yes. So if you ever did any print on demand and you were pricing the print, you may have realized that it's not quite as straightforward as you might think. So we have made a calculator that will hopefully make this easier.
Oh,
if
that's
you
print price calculator. Who remembers the OG calculator I made years and years ago? And I think it's still there.
It's still there, and it has crazy high like visits. It has really good SEO. So yeah, this is the OG calculator. All of them are here, and they are used all the time. It's crazy.
I have used these on numerous occasions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They are just like redesigned, but still the OG calculators. But now there's a new one, and it's the 3D printing price calculator. There is a blog post that goes a little bit more in depth, but if you just want the app, it's here in the side panel. it's really convenient. In a nutshell, you just have to load a G-code, or you just fill the two inputs, which are print time and material used. And basically the rest is kind of pre-filled with some reasonable values. So there is some default spool price, but of course you can pick from one of the Prusa presets or just enter, whatever. Yeah, everything updates in real time, which is really nice. I love that. There is optional electricity because it really contributes very little. So, but it's there. It's if you want to count with it, definitely you can, especially if maybe your kilowatt hour price is kind of high. And yeah, some important parts that we thought are kind of missing from some of the existing calculators, like slicing, print preparation, and very often post-processing, like removing supports, maybe sanding, gluing, whatever you're gonna do with the print. You should probably price that. I would definitely put at least like 10 minutes slicing time, something like that. And yeah, if you're only doing print on demand, or maybe just partially, you might want the machine to pay for itself. So there is a section for that, where basically, you split the cost of the printer into the print hours that you expect it to pay for itself. So that's what this section does. And then there is just general other. A feature that maybe not everyone will discover straight away is that if you fill the name, you can share the calculator, which actually shares this filled table, which is really handy. And if you click this print summary, there's like a simplified one-page, summary. That's what it is, which can be also useful. It's not an invoice or anything, but it's just a nice sum up of everything that you filled in. You can change the currency. It's, I think, kind of simple, but also advanced just enough. There are default values for everything, so it's not too overwhelming. You don't have to fill 50 different fields. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how many of you will actually use it. And I guess depending on that and the feedback, we might commit some more time to improving it, but we will have to see, I guess.
It is also a very good teaching tool when you are, even printing something for a friend to get into like commercial thinking a little bit. How the prices are made, because this is pretty similar how it goes in regular businesses. And when somebody is starting, and I remember those times, you just forget to think about stuff, which just adds up. So I know. So if you would be doing like volume of the price of the filament plus 20%, it might be worse than if you don't do it.
Yeah, so. I mean, just post-processing time, it's really easy to kind of forget how long it's going to take you to like rip supports off of a model and get a model cleaned up. And sometimes you kind of forget about that, but the next thing you've like Joe said, if you're doing multiples of something, you suddenly have hours and hours of time tied up in ripping supports off. And if you don't estimate that, that's lost time. That's lost time.
I think very likely the most overlooked thing is your time, which I think will be the most expensive part of the whole process, because the filament isn't really that expensive for a print. The electricity is nearly nothing. The machine upkeep not really that high. But if you spend like 30 minutes fixing the model, then another 10 minutes slicing it, and then another 20 minutes removing supports, that's an hour, like nearly an hour of your time, which you should price reasonably.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's fantastic. I think it'll be super useful for our users. And again, these are tools that are kind of being built out there to help you go further with what you're doing with printing. And you kind of combine this with our print on demand feature that is located on prusaprinters.org. And we're really kind of setting up the tool sets you need to be able to take your 3D printer and not just be a hobby, but make some money off of it too. So
Tim in chat asks if this could be integrated into Prusa Slicer. Prusa Slicer already does like a really simple cost estimate, basically just the material. I'm not sure if this is like a thing to implement into Prusa Slicer, maybe in the future. I don't know.
I can imagine some things, like, well, what we definitely want to look into in the future slicer versions is to, store your profiles in your account.
Yes.
And also you could fill what is in the basic calculator into your profile, and then you can put it together
Yeah.
exactly as I showed. Something out of it can come, but yeah, I would say it would make sense.
Yeah, where can you find this calculator? I will share a link, but if you go to Prusa printers, well, if you go to the homepage, this is where the models are. But if you go to blog, there's a link in the right panel. I will also paste a link in the chat right now.
Fantastic. All right. So moving on. So for PrusaLive 10, we decided to, kind of put together a little bit of contest of what you guys are actually making and seeing what you guys were making. And when I first proposed this, I thought, oh, we'll just do this like, for that one episode, and then maybe we'll do it like every 10 episodes or whatnot. But Joe being Joe, he's like, no, let's do it every episode. I'm the guy in charge. I can make that decision, and so he did. And so yeah, just a reminder what's going on. Every episode that we have moving forward until Joe says enough. Send us photos of your prints on your print bed. Check out PrusaLive 9 for a great description of all of it. But yes, send us your prints on the print bed. Send us a photo of it. Put it on Twitter with the tag PrusaLive, and we'll pick out our favorites for every episode and send the winners some filament. 2 spools for our winner, and we've got a couple runners up. So yeah, we had a decent collection this week of prints. It's great that kind of when we didn't expect it to continue, you guys kept it going, and it was perfect because some of you had kind of like continued sending things even after we had picked last week's winner. And so the fact that like entries were still kind of coming in, and you guys were like, I may not win anything, but I'll just send it anyways. Really kind of worked out, and we love it. So we love seeing your prints, and there were a bunch of great submissions. So drum roll. Let's do our runners up.
Okay, let's do the runners up. Okay. I have them open. Do you have them open? Do you want to show them?
I do have them open.
Okay.
Is it easier for you to screen share off the screen share though? I guess it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I guess everyone is excited in anticipation.
I love that the winner is... we will find out soon.
In the next episode.
All right, so our first runner-up is Guido Kimball at Revengeancer.
Revengeancer.
With this amazing Kraken dice tower.
I love this print. It's so good. I want to see this painted, but it's already so detailed. And it's no supports.
It's so good.
It's so good, yeah. That is really good. I don't really need a dice tower, but...
Oh, quickly, move away. There's an ad for Idea Maker.
All right.
This is not the runner-up?
No, it isn't. The bar is in my way here. No.
No.
Why don't you pull up your winner there?
I will. You need to stop sharing.
Yeah.
Ooh, the suspense. It's real.
See, this is what happens when I do the...
So
there you go.
Paul, hello, Piney. And this is... I love that it's so many prints on the one build plate. And it's the
Yeah, he
clamps.
packed that in there.
Yeah, it's the clips that we featured on one of the previous PrusaLives, and he just filled the entire build plate with them.
Oh yeah, that clip is amazing.
Yeah, it's really fun. I love printing it and using it at home.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's
right.
and now we have the winner, and the fun thing is that it's from Wekster, and this is
Exactly.
This is a coincidence. I kid you not. I didn't know. You didn't know. I think when we played this, yeah. But yes, this is the winner by Coltron, and it's this amazing MMU print.
Very nice.
Yes, and again, perfect for the season.
Yes. So Halloween around the corner. It's from a designer that we have waiting in the waiting room that he's gonna join us very soon, and it's an awesome Support Plus MMU print.
Yeah. So again, way to go for everyone who submitted. You know, we love seeing these models. We love seeing what you guys are working on. You know, keep submitting. You've got until next Tuesday, or sorry, not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after that. The Tuesday before our next show is what I meant. To get your entries in, and we'll have more winners for PrusaLive 12. But I will be reaching out to all of our winners, and we'll get you some Prusamen on the way. So thank you.
Good job, Coltron.
Yeah. All right. So as we've mentioned a bunch of times, our guest this week is Wekster, who is a very prolific designer out there. Making all of his minis and his face masks and all kinds of different pop culture inspired designs, and we're super excited to have him in. So let's bring him in. Hello,
hey.
Wekster.
Hey,
Howdy.
I'm watching the stream, so I'm kind of late now. So this winner is not suspicious at all, guys.
I'm honest.
And it's printed on Prusa, which is like totally like I don't know. It's fake.
I agree.
I want to congratulate to the winner. It was a really great print. Yeah, I love it.
I think you even have a comment little gif in there when we were showing it of perfection. Yeah. So
indeed.
I would say your vote counts too on this one. That.
Oh, I wouldn't vote for me. I'm sorry, guys.
So, all right. Again, a lot of you guys probably know Wekster out there. If you're kind of following the 3D printing community, it's kind of hard to not see his models popping up all over the place. And I think for really great reasons.
Yeah, because I spam people a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So Wekster, a lot of your models come from pop culture. A lot of things aren't necessarily like original creatures and things. Although I would say the Pumpkin Queen is to some degree, the one that just won. But and the little sneak preview that you showed us as we were getting ready. But yeah, what inspires you to make a model? Like, what are you into that gets you?
Well, I would say alcohol, but I don't really use it, so it just. I mean, I grew up with bunch of great movies from 80s, like so now when I'm thinking about some kind of model, I just jump into that childhood and I pick something. Sometimes it's just my patrons are suggesting something, and that's kind of like a brain ninja. It gets stuck in my head because I need to figure out, especially because they want mini dudes, so I need to figure out how to apply some kind of likeness or something into that, and that's the starting point. And I just love pop culture, so it's always a good thing.
Right. Yeah, and as far as your mini dudes go, we have a handful of them up on Prusa printers as is. So my Prusa printers picks of the week was the Hellboy, but there's a couple others out there. I've got whoa, as I'm dropping him,
Oh, Matt, you're shit.
Oh, there goes the tail.
Yeah. No, I was dropping Jason. Thankfully, he still has his machete.
Okay.
So both of these are out there on Prusa printers, but I mean, we can even see behind you. There's an entire wall of minis back there.
Yeah, I had to admit that I just filled the wall today because like I had maybe 30% of mini dudes on the wall, and one of my friends complained because of that, so I had to work hard today.
Instead of the wall, you should have put it on the Prusa printers.
So
Yeah.
how many minis have you created at this point?
We tried to count them today, and honestly, I don't know. It's between 75 and let's say 90 to 100.
Wow.
Because like some of them are, like you have Ninja Turtles, so there are 4 immediately, and so I didn't go into every folder, but it's close to 100, I would say.
I have the medical heroes that you created for us.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
And also, I've got Indiana Jones and a mummy here also. So
I see Alexandru Kokan in the chat saying that you should make the trio of me, Matt, and Mikolas.
See, I was going to bring that up. I was going to say some of them are just from pulp culture,
I knew
but
it.
you also
There was a reason why you guys wanted me here.
You also have people in the community that you're making also. And yeah, I think I personally, since we already have a mini Joe, right? Like kind of, I really think we need a mini Mickey out there.
I'm fine without him.
Is perfect for it. So.
Yeah, I think I could do something.
You still have 34 minutes.
Yeah, he'll just bust it out right here.
Yeah.
But that actually segues perfectly into my next question there, which is, what software do you use to create your designs? There's a lot of people who would look at what you're making and say, hey, I want to be able to do this, and it's kind of. This is a question I ask every designer who comes on because, you all have your own preferences and your tips and your tricks.
Well, I started doing my mini dudes in Fusion, actually.
Wow.
But I kind of got annoyed by the limitation of the software because I couldn't do all the details that I wanted. I mean, they had to be simple, but sometimes I was spending more time figuring out how to slice them so that everything is going to get connected. And then I decided to try ZBrush. So this is my go-to software right now. That software was one of the things that was really torturing me. It's a software that I went back and forth a few times and I couldn't learn it. So one day I just decided, okay, now is the time to actually test it properly. So I got that 45-day trial. I started learning, and I picked some stuff in like 2 days. After 5 days, I was really loving the software, and then I was like, okay, now I need to figure out how to earn enough money for the software. So I actually started producing more and more stuff, putting it everywhere, and that's the thing. I tried to use Blender. I'm still trying to do that. I know that exactly. Mikuláš is gonna be happy because of that. But since I've invested so much time into ZBrush, I'm mostly going back to that.
Yeah, I mean, ZBrush is
I was experimenting with a lot of different software. I was even sculpting some stuff in VR. That's a pretty cool thing right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, I told you guys before I get sick.
Before it started making you sick.
Right.
That is, you would have it with some workout.
Yeah.
I need some workout.
I have to say, the mini dudes, like, they look simple, but I think it's surprisingly hard to, like, get the character with very, very few features. I tried it a little bit, and it's very, it's weird difficultness, but you only have a few shapes, and you want to make them simple, but yet you want to make it clear on the, like, first look that it's this character.
I kind of think about like 2D caricature drawings, and I look at the minis as like the 3D version of that, of taking kind of a comic simplified version of a design, and that's one of the things I really love about his minis.
Basically, it's kind of easy. There are tricks how to do that. Like you first you need to simplify it as much as possible. So you're trying to find what makes the character, like what makes it like famous. Is it some kind of crooked smile or something else, or is it just a wardrobe? And I learned from my friend. She's doing a lot of caricatures. She told me, don't look at images. You need to look at some kind of clip of the person, and then you will notice what is the thing you need to do. And it's true. When you get images, you are so focused on that one image or two, depends. But when you're watching a clip, you immediately know what is happening.
Interesting.
So sometimes we had streams on Twitch, and all of a sudden I just decided to try to sculpt one of my friends, because I noticed I spent a lot of time with him, and I noticed his smile, how it goes. So I just did it quickly, and I think I nailed his look immediately. Like it doesn't happen often. I have more troubles when I'm trying to make some kind of I don't know, some kind of likeness. This thing was killing me for days until I figure out. So mini dudes are challenging, but it's kind of quicker. You can move a few things, and it's already recognizable.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is that Witcher a piggy bank? Are you like tossing a coin to the Witcher?
Oh,
very nice.
Yes, it has a
Oh, that's analog Patreon.
Yeah.
You know what? Tonight, this one is gonna go on Prusa printers.
Ooh,
awesome!
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, when I was printing these out and then like tearing the supports off them and everything else, like my wife instantly picked up that this one was Jason, because as soon as you see the hockey mask, it's instantly recognizable as Jason. And it's like you say, kind of finding that specific thing that identifies the character, and I think you do a great job at it. So do you use any other tools with you? I mean, if you're using ZBrush, I imagine you're probably a tablet and stylus designer, as I know most ZBrush people really kind of go that route. But do you use any hardware tools or any other software tools that really like help you in your design process?
I'm using mostly like the main software that I use with ZBrush is PureRef. It's just a small program where you can toss a bunch of references.
PureRef is amazing.
Yeah, it's really great. It's free. I love that software. That's one of the things I open all the time.
Yeah, it's like a canvas where you just free place pictures.
Yeah.
So you have a big canvas of many pictures that inspire you. And
interesting.
And I use it because of that. It's like my own personal Pinterest.
Yeah.
I just grab images and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go in that direction, and I'm trying to do something sort of original. I mean, sort of, because everything is invented these days. But
yeah,
for hardware, it's like graphic display and like I started using that.
You even have a few tutorials for ZBrush, if I'm not right, on your YouTube.
Well, I decided it was funny to do that kind of stuff, because at the time I was doing my first ZBrush tutorial, which is probably one of the most famous videos I did. I had really low knowledge about ZBrush, but I wanted to share the stuff that I learned, and it turned out that a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
I just got to the chase, and I explained how to make something easily, and I think most of the people picked up the basic stuff after 15-20 minutes. one of the good things I think I did in that tutorial was I did it from the perspective of someone who has no clue, which wasn't that far off, but because everyone who opens ZBrush and clicks on something, it's gonna get freaked out. It's it's the default thing.
Well, one of the nice sides is you talk about getting started in the 45-day free trial of ZBrush, but ZBrush has recently released a totally free kind of community like light version of ZBrush that at least lets you get started in kind of the concept of how everything works. So if you're really interested in going down that road, but you don't have the money to invest in ZBrush because ZBrush isn't super cheap. But if
also
or there's Blender, right?
Blender,
which is totally free. But yeah, so ZBrush does have the community version that will at least get you started.
One of the points in the sculpting article that we released was that it's really easy to take the knowledge from one sculpting app and take it to another, I think, because the basics are the same. And the differences will be maybe the technical things like subdivisions or exporting or some of these more advanced things, but the basics of how you make the shape will be pretty much the same in all of them.
Yeah. Push-pull tools.
It would be so great if Blender has released all of this stuff before I started learning ZBrush, because now when I compare those two, I would probably go for Blender because there are two options that how you can use it, and the rendering engine is great. But like I said, I invested so much time in ZBrush, and I know most of the stuff there, so it's kind of hard for me to switch and learn another one.
ZBrush is the industry standard for sculpting, and I think it will be for a really long time. So I don't think that's a bad choice. It's just you went for the hard stuff straight away. So, but you already learned that, so I think that's fine by now.
Well, I learn new stuff every day, and that's the most excited thing about ZBrush for me. Like sculpting is something that I do every day, so it kind of it's saying I repeat same thing over and over, strokes, like forming everything. But when I try to figure out, okay, I need to do this, how do I do that? Then I go onto Google and I found it, and it's like, oh, now I can do so much more stuff. Only thing when because I need to complain about ZBrush is posing. The thing that Blender has right now is such an amazing tool. I really want that in ZBrush.
What do you mean?
Is that because you can put skeletons inside of
it detects? You don't have to.
You don't even have to
rig it.
Nice. So there's a pose tool. So basically, in animation, you normally put the bones in. So this would be a bone, this would be a bone. But you don't even have to do that. There's a pose brush that automatically somehow detects where the elbow is or where the bendy parts should be, and you just take it and you can pose the sculpt right there.
That's awesome. there are really great things. I had Masterpiece VR. They made the rigging software like inside VR, which was pretty damn good. It's like you just click on auto and it's gonna do the skeleton. So you need to fix like weight and it works great. I was playing with like characters in it.
And does it work on like non-humanoid characters?
It had some four-legged creatures, but it was mostly focused. I got kind of like, I think it was beta, so it had only basic stuff. But now I've seen they've added much more things. Unfortunately, I cannot go to VR because I can spend like 10 minutes and then I get sick.
So a lot of your designs, as we say, are pop culture, but a lot of them kind of lean towards the kind of spooky things. And it's one of the reasons why I kind of thought it'd be great to have you on now is with Halloween right around the corner. A lot of your stuff is towards the horror genre or other things along that line. But you also have a whole series of masks that you've been releasing. And so which are kind of like instant Halloween costumes out there for people, right? And so do you find yourself more inspired during this time of year to create things? And tell us a little bit about your masks also.
So I'm trying to figure out the way how to say this without upsetting Joe, but like I was avoiding any kind of masks or any kind of helmets because of the printer, and for some reason I didn't even figure out that mask can actually fit onto on printer. And it took me a while to figure out. I'm a slow learner, so one day I was just doing it was Sub-Zero bust, and Carmelo, he's a great guy. He said you should totally make a mask, and usually when someone suggests something like that, I have like I know those moments where I just need to say yes, and this was one of those. So I just tried to make one, and it was a huge hit. So I just continued working on those, and now
show us something. Show us.
Well, this was.
I've got one right here. So this is his samurai mask in our Mystic Green printed on a Mark III's.
So this was Sub-Zero, and just a mask. Like I did because the Ghost of Tsushima, Joe again will know how great that game is, and I started doing more samurai stuff.
Have you played the Ghost of Tsushima?
Oh yeah, I loved it. So I didn't want to rip off the stuff from the game, so I decided to make my own versions that are different.
Awesome.
And now I think I have like 10, 15 masks. I'm not sure. I need to count my stuff. I have a great guy in my little community. He keeps everything in Excel sheets. I should do the same.
Yeah, when I said earlier that you were a prolific designer, like the fact that you don't remember how many of a lot of these things you've made, I think really speaks to that exact point that you're just kind of constantly tossing things out there, and it's extremely impressive.
It's an addiction. I really like creating this stuff. It's relaxing until I need to prepare it for printer. Then it gets crazy because when you're sculpting, you're just throwing a lot of ideas, and then it's like, okay, how am I gonna print this?
Do you actually sometimes go back to sculpting when you realize you could have just maybe adjusted the angle or something to make it easier to print, or do you just focus on sculpting and then do slicing as a separate step?
Yes, I do that a lot of times. Okay. But I've noticed like I can make something and I'm gonna try to figure out some angle, but there's always gonna be someone smarter who's gonna just rotate the mask and figure out a better way. So whatever I did kind of doesn't make sense. Some people will just bury everything with the support, so it doesn't matter. I tried to make stuff with less support. At one point I was trying to do more like everything without the support, and that's not a great idea. It's great for those who will print it, but for me
it's a big limitation
to be creative. It's very limiting. So these days I don't focus that much on that except when I'm doing stuff like this, because I set the bar. This needs to be printed without the support. So every year I'm just trying to do one like that. This year as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I
that
can
is such a
actually
great.
show you guys that if you want to see.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Wait. So I'm working on 3 models right now.
Oh, that's me.
Someone suggested that in my Discord, so I started thinking. First I was saying I'm gonna do the Teen Wolf, Michael J. Fox version, but then I actually went with the original. I was working on this mask and I released it at the beginning of the month, but since more people are printing in resin, I decided to add more details. So from today, this mask looks like this,
This looks awesome.
and it has even like maggots. And one tip I want to say to everyone who wants to model that kind of stuff: don't look for references of maggots online, please, guys. No. And so, like I said, I'm doing something with pumpkin every Halloween. This is the new model.
Oh, nice.
So I started learning guitar. I said that ZBrush was kicking my butt all the time, and it was making me feel stupid. Same thing was with guitar. So since I learned ZBrush, it was time to learn guitar. Unfortunately, that thing doesn't go that well. People with ears will agree with me, but I wanted to make something related to that. So this is the model right now. It can be printed without any support. It can be challenging as well. I did some tests. It works fine, but I'm gonna make one version
awesome.
easier, and then this one is gonna be for those who are 100% sure that their printers can handle this. So
Nice.
yeah.
I think if you just added like a vine that came up as almost like a mic stand to the original Pumpkin Queen, and then you've got the guitar player, like you're like halfway to a pumpkin band, right? Like,
yeah.
Good idea.
Because like the Pumpkin Queen stance already very comes across like some lead singer belting it out there, and so
yeah, and I can put a bunch of these guys in the front row.
Yeah, I remember. I remember this one.
Exactly, screaming along.
Yeah.
So it's been really great having you, Wekster. This was very, very fun. Love your models. Love the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
From every designer that we've had on, I picked something up. I am definitely going to check out. I know Mickey already put a link in there, but I think it was Pure Ref or something. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna check that out. So yeah, we really appreciate the tips and tricks. Before you go, other than on Prusa printers, where can people find out more about your work?
Well, the best place is probably my Patreon. So it's patreon.com/Wekster. That's the best place, and from that place they can go into my Discord, and then I just apologize for everything that happens there. Usually we have some nice stuff. Sometimes we are doing tutorials. Not only me, some of my friends are doing stuff like Fusion. So it's a bad place where you can learn a lot of nice stuff.
Awesome.
Well, that's great. So again, we really thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on the show, and
thank you.
We'll chat with you again some other time.
Okay. See you guys.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was a fun one.
Yes, I think this PrusaLive could have been 4 hours long, and we would still have things to chat about.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm sitting there like watching the kind of clock go, and I was like, this is hard cutting them off, because this is going great. But we should take a little bit of time to see if there's any questions out there.
Sure.
So, yeah. Have you seen anything come in through?
Yes, I saw something before. Oh yes, before the stream because he couldn't make it, but he wanted to enter a question before and actually caught it, and that was, will you allow PrusaSlicer to export settings into Excel like a CSV? He wanted it so that he could compare two profiles easily. And actually, there is a thing now in PrusaSlicer in the upcoming version, where if you switch a profile, it will show you a difference, a diff of the profile that you are currently on and the one that you are switching to. And you can transfer the settings that you changed. And this already basically does this difference. So I think there will even be a standalone feature to show a difference between two profiles, which I think will be super helpful for tinkers who really like to make their own profiles.
Yeah, but even I think that can be done even when you just
Yes.
export the plain settings and just do the compare.
Yeah, it's already a text file, so you could probably compare it kind of easily side by side, or just make a diff.
Okay. And I think we got this or a similar question to it before, but Aaron Kyer on Twitter is asking, with Apple moving to ARM chips, will it be possible that PrusaSlicer might actually be ported over to iOS, iPad in the future also?
So we are trying to get a hold of the developer machine, but we don't have it yet, and I think it will be fine. But what I know, there are some changes going in the background that we are porting to a different version of OpenGL, which should be mostly compatible with OpenGL ES, I think. So there shouldn't be, it shouldn't be that difficult to actually do it, even into WebGL.
There's already an ARM build that we release. That one probably won't be compatible, but
yeah. But it is always about the time invested and how much we can afford to spend on this, and how many users will use it. So maybe it will be worth it at some point to make a mini version where you could just pick presets and just place a few models, but no advanced features, I guess, would be possible.
I think that's one of the parts where PrusaSlicer team is really good, is picking where to spend the time to get the most out of the time spent on a feature.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a long time. We expect that we will, once Apple moves to the ARM, it will be a few months before we have everything nailed down, unless the new Rosetta works perfectly, which I doubt.
Yeah.
Barry Webb is asking if anyone has any tips for reusing or recycling the purge towers created by MMU prints. He says, I've got a lot and don't want to bin them.
They are.
I've definitely seen some projects in the past of people kind of making abstract art out of the remnants of different prints by putting them in a baking sheet and like layering them and stacking them around. It looks really great when you start tossing in a bunch of prime rings and things like that. And then you kind of melt them all down into a sheet, and they're kind of fun little things.
We are actually working on this front, so about just sort of starting a pilot program that we take back the base filament or waste prints and stuff, and also we have some waste from our farms and from the filament manufacturing. So we are doing a couple of ways how to do it. Something simple that you grind it and put it into a mold and actually make a plant. How do you call it? Planter for small plant or stuff like that. But you can also put it into a sheet, and then we can use it in a lab instead of acrylic. But also for the material we have under control, like from our filament manufacturing, we are getting injection molding presses, so we can make some parts for the printers with it, and it will be it is not very easy to make recycled filament, and most of the stuff you see is mostly virgin polymers because it's just not up to the quality we would like. But we can easily use it for injection molding of stuff, like spool holders or PSU covers and stuff which doesn't have much added value in 3D printing.
Yeah, I think if you check out the precious the Precious Plastics project, they have a lot of tools and resources when it comes to being able to recycle and reuse different kinds of materials. They tend to focus a little bit more towards HDPE, but a lot of those same bits and things could easily be repurposed for PLA also.
Aaron in the chat says it would be great to use another model as a purge model, and you can do that, and it's even documented in the documentation. I wrote that. It's there, and you can.
Yeah, you can purge into infill and into different model.
Yeah,
so.
That will drastically reduce the material that's put in the wipe tower. That there will always have to be a little wipe tower because you never be sure that there is enough space in the other models for the purge.
That's a really great tip. And
yes.
it might be fun to like come up with some models that are actually kind of like really good potential, useful things that you could have around the house, but work really well for purge towers and things like that. That might be an interesting project for someone to kind of take on and check out. So yeah.
Someone in the chat, was it RC Racer? I'm sorry if I butchered your name. What did we think about Verve? Oh, RC Maniac 25. What did you guys think about Verve? I think it was fun.
Yeah, Verve was great. Thank you to everyone who kind of hung out in the Discord with me for the rest of the weekend. It was pretty active in there. And yeah, the Verve was a good time. It's kind of sad in some ways because it makes you realize how much you really miss the actual like physical event. But it's still great one way or another, just like PrusaLive. It's great to be able to hang out with you guys, somehow. And Verve was nice.
It will be interesting to go to the first event, like emerging from a dark cave. I don't even remember the hum of the plane and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, the first event where this community is able to get back together is going to be it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a great time. But I have a feeling it's going to be trouble for some people's livers, especially. So yeah. All right. We've got time for one more. You see anything in there? Maybe?
At the beginning, I saw somebody mentioning that he hopes that we are all fine, because I guess you've heard the news from the one of the best countries in the world. We got kind of, I would say, cocky. Not us. We never stopped having the measures at the factory, but people thought that it's over. So the situation is quite bad here, but we are doing well compared to the rest.
To clarify, there, you're speaking specifically about COVID and the kind of second wave that's hitting Czechia.
Yeah, I mean the cases we have now, it would be like if US would have 300,000 cases a day.
It's really bad right now in the Czech Republic. We specifically are doing kind of still fine, but it's not great in here right now.
Yeah. So all of those of us that are not in the Czech Republic will definitely be watching out for you guys and hoping the best for everyone.
But
I'm pretty sure you will hear about our wonderful government.
Yeah.
I guess we can quickly at the end go over the obligatory PrusaCalculator Alpha. We don't have a date, but it will come out soon-ish, hopefully. New printers.
Wojciech was telling me today, like 3 days ago.
Yeah. It is what it is. New printers, hard to develop. Probably nothing coming out anytime soon. Anything else that comes up quick, like very often?
Yeah, we might get
farm
beta.
software.
Yeah, we might get the beta out in before the end of the year.
Nice.
That's great. All right, guys. I think that's going to wrap us up for this week. So again, we always appreciate you guys joining us. We love that you guys tune in week after week. You guys keep showing up. We'll keep on doing the shows. So we really thank you for coming. Again, don't forget to send us your prints with #PrusaLive on Twitter. And from all of us at Prusa, stay healthy and keep printing. We'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
See you guys.